Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I have a lovely guest by the name of Ria Rosella. Ria, can you say hi?
Hi, I'm Ria Rosella. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a trans YouTuber, but also a therapist. And today we thought it would be amazing to rank coping skills. That being said, what we're going to be talking about is based on my and Violet's education, not actually mental or medical advice. That's really important. Please take it to your own provider, your own people. Anything you learn here is just supposed to be helpful.
And one more thing, real quick trigger warning for those here. We will be talking about some heavier subjects. So if that might bother you, I wanted to let you know now. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and get right into the video. So
Hmm.
first up, we have box breathing.
Yeah.
So I love box breathing. I am also aware that it doesn't work for everybody, but I think it's mainly because of how it's taught. Ria, what do you
Hmm.
want to say on this?
I love box breathing as well. I think it's an amazing coping skill. I just think that some people are just really resistant to it because it's like,
Hmm.
I know how to breathe. Don't tell me what to do, therapist mom. And like, so yeah, I just feel like people are just kind of really resistant to the process. So that's my only complaint.
Yeah, I would say that this is an A tier.
Yeah,
All
I
right, let's
agree.
throw it up on the A tier. All right, next up, we have journaling.
Ugh, I have opinions.
Well, we know you have opinions. I think that's why you're here. But sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
No, it's just the thing about journaling is just that like it's such a good coping skill. It's so good. Please, if you have it in you, externalize the things from your brain at a minimum, like talk to someone, talk at a recorder, something. It is such a good skill. But I work with a lot of people who are like me and have the TISM and ADHD, and the ADHD side of the brain is like, no, I don't want it. That'll take forever. I can play video games. Mer. And so it can be really hard to motivate yourself to do it, no matter how
Mm-hmm.
good it is.
Both while I was in school and one of my therapists reinforced this is that journaling doesn't have to be this really intense thing. You could just have a journal, and every time you feel an emotion or every time you feel a big emotion, you could just write, I'm sad or I was sad. And that gets that out of your brain and has the ability to be trackable. So you can kind of see what's been going on with your life outside of it. You don't have to sit there and write 20 paragraphs about everything going on. You could write 4 sentences and that is still externalizing those inner thoughts, and that is important. So I would say, and I think you'd agree here, that journaling's kind of like a B, C tier, just because
Yeah.
it is hard to do, and it's something that you do need a little bit of consistency to see a lot of results with.
Dear diary, mood apathetic.
Uh, okay. All
I'm
right.
referencing elder memes. I'm sorry.
Next up, we have social comparison.
Yeah, solid F tier.
Boo. Okay. Boo.
Boo.
To explain it, this is when you find yourself often comparing yourself to other people. Like, am I good enough? Or, well, at least I'm better than they are. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's just a detrimental thing.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually a whole ContraPoints video about this called cringe. With the social comparison, whether you're afraid you're getting compared and you're cringe, or another person you're thinking that you're better than someone else.
Exactly.
I really love that video, and yeah, it's no bueno.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Moving right on. Next coping mechanism. All right. So this one we have medicine. I think that medicine can have a lot of really good uses. Like modern medication has gone way farther than what it used to be, and there's a lot more resources on it.
Hmm.
I think that this can be going both ways because it is also important that you have a provider who knows at least a little bit about what they're doing.
Yeah, I actually work with a doctor who specializes in working with queer, trans, and neurodivergent people, and I just love to see my clients like brighten up when they work with him because, oh my God, someone finally understands me. And not only that, but they understand that I struggle getting my meds and will actually support me because ADHD med stigma. Ah, it's so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Exactly. Dude, oh, I could go into how my current
Hmm.
doctor, I love him. Wonderful. The doctor's clinic I go to specifically serves trans and queer people. But he is a man, and I did get mansplained about ADHD medicine when I was
Oh.
asking for it. And I was like, hey, babe, I know what I'm talking about. And he goes, I know you're in school and I know you do self-study. And I was like, babe, stop yourself right there. But yeah, I would say this is a solid A tier.
Only
I would
because
say
that medication roller coaster can be just so hard to deal with, and it doesn't
absolutely.
work for everyone.
Okay. Next coping mechanism. So we have unhealthy media consumption.
Yeah, aka doom scrolling in the modern era because, things are just not great right now, which is
Yeah,
why we're doing this.
exactly. We're doing this for you guys. So maybe you don't doom scroll. But no judgment if you do. No judgment if you do. I am a victim of it myself. Um,
Yeah.
I'm also the
Yeah.
perpetrator of it.
Yeah, solid F tier.
Solid
Like,
F tier, absolutely.
and to just add to it, like, it's not just doom scrolling. Like, people will lose themselves in books and like dissociate into them. Like, if you have this feeling where if you're reading or playing a game or whatever, and you feel kind of like you're a brain and hands and nothing else, you're probably dissociating.
Hmm.
So that, yeah, that
Yeah,
is kind of the what we're talking about here if you're in your nervous system about it. For example, like after the election, a lot of people spent so much time between like November and December just getting lost in Baldur's Gate.
that's no. You can't do that to me. I I just God forbid I want to put on the polymod and romance my twinks and lesbians. Jesus Christ.
Hello, dog.
Okay, fine. Moving on. Next coping mechanism. So the next one we have is the vagus nerve massage.
Yeah, so this is a very complicated topic because a lot of people don't know about it. The vagus nerve is this wandering nerve that starts in your brainstem. It has a big, oh, tracking, a big part in your neck and then goes all the way down through your abdomen into your groin. It's this very long nerve, and there are lots of ways to stimulate it. The biggest one that a lot of autistic people do all the time is vocal stimming and like singing. Like it feels so powerful to sing. Uh, that's why people usually feel elated when they sing. Communal singing can be a way when a lot of people are all singing, all feeling better all at once. And in part, that's because of the vagus nerve. And also, well, there's lots of different ways I could go on and on, but I think you do music, don't you?
I do. I am a musician. I do sing, scream, and play guitar and a few other instruments. But yeah, I there is something, and I will always talk about it, how freeing it is to sing, especially singing in front of other people. One thing I often do is I will be hosting these music events where I will get the entire crowd singing along with me. And there is something so wonderful and blissful about that experience. Uh,
Yeah. So if you don't want to sing, another way is you can like take your hands and kind of put them around your neck. I can't quite do it when in VR, but basically cup your hands around your neck and just massage, particularly on the left side, but also the right, just for symmetry's sake. And if you want to do the super special awesome version, you scoot your butt up against a wall and put your legs up in a 90-degree angle. Basically, having your legs above your head while you do it is like a wonderful factory reset to your body. It just feels so good. So yes,
I,
S tier.
Yep, I'll agree to the S tier. Next coping mechanism we have is exercise. So, I personally think that this is a high A, close to an S tier. Obviously, not everybody I know can exercise. I myself, I am partially disabled. I have a messed up knee, so I can only do so much. However, also for those that don't know, I also have autoimmune disorders, so I can't go out and overexert myself often. But exercise in any shape or form can be extremely helpful because endorphins are really important to regulating the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I often talk about exercise as like a three-legged stool for anxiety. So you have exercise on one leg, you have medicine for another, and then the other leg is talk therapy. And yeah, exercise is so important, and I think it's really valuable skill, but not everyone can do it. There's limitations. It's complicated, but it's so good when it works.
Yeah, so we'll put it as a high A for now. Okay, so next up we have hair pulling, skin picking, nail biting, etc. And this one is actually something I have a lot of personal experience with. So prior to transition, I used to have an anxious tick of pulling out any body hair, especially because I was dealing with a lot of anxiety around my appearance, and I didn't understand why. So this was a negative coping mechanism that I had developed because of both like body image issues and as a way to remove anxiety because I could very easily sit in front of a mirror and just disassociate while doing that for hours.
Mm-hmm, hmm.
So in my opinion, I would say it's like a D tier because it's not as bad as some of the other things that we're going to be going over today, but it can be detrimental.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel that like people who struggle with skin picking and stuff, it can really be detrimental, especially if you start getting like infections or things of that nature. But it isn't like there isn't like lasting harm, and if anything, I mean, what is beauty but like, plucking eyebrows and stuff, I say
Yeah,
jokingly.
I mean, no, I do agree because like I now have transitioned that into only plucking my eyebrows. But granted, getting laser hair removal on the areas where I would do it often has helped because now since I don't have hair growing there, I can't do that coping mechanism. So,
Yeah.
there's give and takes and there's a way to balance these out in your life. So D tier it is. Next up.
Emotional eating is probably we go from the one that you really struggled with to the one that I struggled with the most.
Mhm.
Emotional eating. If you go on my channel, you will hear kind of my kind of trauma narrative is on there. And when I was in that period of time, emotional eating was like, or eating, I should say, was one of the things that really was the only like bright spot in my life. So I learned to lean on this for basically anything happy during that time. And in moderation, it can be something where, oh gosh, you do it, you're doing it, but you're being mindful. And again, similar to the last one, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like doing it occasionally won't lead to detrimental permanent harm, but if you do anything in excess, it can be problematic.
Absolutely. And I think specifically like with this one is that, it as with a lot of these, that they can be slippery slopes. And so you just having to be mindful. And if it is something you struggle with and you do have the ability to have access to a therapist, absolutely something that you should discuss with them. So D tier we go.
So now we have being in nature, or what do we call it exactly? Doing nature?
Uh, You're doing nature. We are fucking nature.
um,
Um,
yeah,
Connecting with nature. That's it.
connecting with nature. Yes. So I love nature over there. I am a indoor cat. I am not a inside person. While I am a demon, I am very very pale. I am almost as pale as a vampire, one might say. And
What are
yes,
you
I
saying about me, huh?
hey, I'm just saying I really hate the sun.
Okay, that's fair. I luckily can go out in the sun sometimes, not often. Where I live, it's really bright and it hurts my skin. But I do really enjoy going outside. And I personally think that this is a high S tier because there is a lot to be said about the dopamine that can be released from just sitting outside in nature and reconnecting yourself with a thing that we have been distanced from because of Western society.
Yeah.
It is really easy to sit there on your phone or to sit in front of a computer all day long, but it is, it can be difficult to go outside, but doing so can be really, really good for you. If you have the ability to go on a hike or to just go out and into the woods somewhere safely, mind you, I want you guys to be careful when you're doing this. I think it is good to just try to give yourself around like 30 minutes a week at doing so, because it is good to take a break from
Mm-hmm.
everything going on in your life. And this is a very healthy distraction.
For
Cool.
people like you.
For people like me, yeah, for the people that actually enjoy going outside, and I enjoy going outside at night, where my
I'll have
victims are easier to
15,
find.
15 minutes a day. That's what I'll give myself.
Just enough for vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
I
Vitamin
oh,
D? I
I was like, I have a vitamin D I can share with you, anyways.
Hara
Um,
hara.
next coping mechanism.
So next we have the five senses technique, and ugh. So I I don't like this one only because it's like babies first mindfulness slash grounding. And I feel like a lot of therapists, especially when they get right out of school, they're like, oh my God, let me just teach you this like wonderful thing. And like, it, yes, it's good. There's a reason why we included it, but it isn't the end all be all. And it is just kind of like the beginning to grounding. And I feel like some deeper, somatic, bottom up methods are ultimately better. But I mean, it's good, and like solid, like middle of the road coping skill for sure. What do you think,
I
Violet?
mean, I would say the same. I think this is the default that is given to a lot of people. And while it can be helpful, it can be difficult if you are dealing with the higher levels of disassociation or freeze and fight and flight responses. Um, I think that it can be beneficial for people who aren't struggling as much and is a good tool to have in your tool belt. But that is what it lies as, is it's just a tool that you can use at the end of the day. Because it doesn't fit a lot of scenarios, but it might fit some. So I would say that this is like high C, low B tier. Okay. Where do you want to put it?
Yeah, at C for sure.
C? All right, cool. Next coping mechanism.
Yeah, so communication. It's very important. You need to talk to people. You need to tell people how you're doing. Like, there's a reason why, like, when people are feeling shame, they hide because, like, they feel like they're alone and oh no, everything's terrible. But like, no, you have to tell people because that's how we feel better. But can't just rely on that. If you rely on it too much, you won't learn how to do any of these like self-regulation things that we're talking about today. And there has to be balance. So I think it's a real double-edged sword.
Yeah, totally agreed. Totally agreed. I'd say high B, low A.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. We'll put it in the high B for now.
For
Because
now.
like exactly like you said, really, really helpful, but very easy to get stuck in negative aspects of it. Okay, cool. This is one you really, really want to share about, so I'll let you take the
Yeah.
lead.
Yeah, so this is representing the what I call the palm press technique. I can't quite do it because my hands can't touch in VR because I have controllers in them. But I did teach about it on a video in my channel as well as some other basic skills like the five senses. And I just want I have a video on my channel. I'm gonna start over. I did teach about it in on my channel. I have a video there, as well as like the five senses and some other basic techniques that you can go see. And yeah, so go over there if you want a detailed explanation. But generally, it's about basically exerting yourself by pushing your hands together while not breathing and causing a gasp response. Be very brief. It feels like the fight or flight, like you're winning the fight, or you successfully ran away. And that's why
Hmm.
I love this technique. It's an S tier for sure.
Hell yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. All somatic exercises, immediate S tier, immediate, every single time. Okay,
Why don't you
next up,
start the next one?
we
Yeah.
have. How dare you cut me off?
Dun dun dun.
So, next up, after I was so rudely interrupted, dare you, we have sleeping. Okay, so I'll take the lead on this one. I think sleeping can be a double-edged sword. I think that it can be really helpful with resetting the body, but I think that where it becomes double-edged is it's very easy to sleep life away and to use it as a form of escapism. So like rest is extremely important, and I don't want you guys to not rest. Everybody deserves rest. A good 8 to 10 hours of sleep, especially for my trans ladies out there. You guys need your sleep. It is important.
To grow
Once
them
you're on
titties.
hormones, things changes. All right. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to say, Ria?
I think it is a very like it's a double-edged sword. I just want to say because it is such a reset to add to what Violet was saying. It's like it is a very very powerful like somatic reset. But you can you can go into hypersomnia if you do it too much. It can lead to depression. You're literally slowing things down. And yeah, it can be very problematic if that's your go-to only real coping skill.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're gonna throw that in a C tier. What do you
Mm-hmm.
say?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have punching pillows.
I'm sorry. I'm
What?
laughing because we were talking about like the flirting thing, and it's like, oh, punching pillows, huh? Like, Anyway, so yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see myself out.
Anyway, okay, cut. Hey, we're getting
All
more
right. Get
derpy
those
since
laughs
we've
out.
done this already.
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. We're getting the laughter out. Uh,
Uh,
so next up, we have punching pillows.
yeah. So,
F tier.
yeah, it's terrible because you'll Pavlov yourself into wanting to punch things when you're angry. Like, yeah, it feels cathartic, but it's a trap. It's a trap.
Look, and for all of my puppy girls out there, if you want to classically condition yourself, let me know. I can clicker train you. I train dogs. But don't train yourself to continue your anger in a way like this. And I won't judge you if it's something that you currently do. But just
Yeah,
like Ria said, you can Pavlov yourself so that when you are angry, your first response is to punch things. And, one can only hope that it's going to be like a wall. But it is very easily for this to escalate because it doesn't actually resolve the anger.
just feels good in a moment, and you don't want to impulsively do something you will regret for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. All right. So, off that very dark note, next up, we have a healthy media consumption.
Yeah, I think, it's a solid, like, middle of the road type thing.
Hmm.
As long as you're not dissociating, it can be really good to distract yourself, help, like, it's really if you have the nervous system kind of responding while you're consuming.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And I think the important thing about this is when you're doing like healthy media consumption, it's the matter of how present you are. Because it's really easy to escape into media. But like, let's say you're watching a video and you're learning from that video. Like, I like to watch videos on psychology, sociology, and where's the other word? Psychology, sociology, and philosophy. So I like to watch videos on psychology, sociology, and philosophy, as well as I really enjoy watching movies that get me to think. Things
Oh,
that
so you're
are
like a
really
smart lady?
activating your brain. What'd you say?
So you're like a smart lady?
I do like a smart lady.
Mm.
Oh my god. So I would put this as a high B tier. But it's again, it relies back down on how present you are while you're doing this consumption.
Yeah,
Okay, next up, we have overworking. I
I think I'll leave that to the person who does it.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thanks. 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 I am I'm very guilty of doing this. It is probably one of my biggest coping mechanisms is when I start to feel things too much, I will overwork myself. And recently, I actually just quit my second job because I was working my full-time day job, a night job, and doing YouTube, which was a lot, as well as because I have a dog, I have my own responsibilities, I have friends. You quickly realize that when you're overworking, Ria said this earlier, so I'm going to steal what they said. It's like stacking food onto a plate, and you just keep doing it and doing it. And it's okay for a while until the plates fall off. or fall down and they crash and you burn out. So it's really important to try to find balance. Overworking in any aspect is a really toxic thing to do. And I understand that our current socioeconomic political system is made for you to overwork yourself. But I want to really iterate that the best form of revolution that you can have currently is joy. You need to enjoy your life, and overworking is the quickest way to suck that joy out of it.
Yes, yes, yes. One little extra detail I'll add is if you have ADHD and you're like a type A personality, you might be apt to want to like keep piling it on for that extra stimulation and extra dopamine. Like the it feels really good to like say yes in particular to people, or to have like the I'm like pulling like victory from the jaws of defeat kind of stuff, but you can only do that so much.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say F tier. F tier. 100%.
Mm,
Oh, and calling me out as a type A personality. I can't believe you do that.
I would definitely say you're an A, maybe an S. Anyway,
This motherfucker.
next we have pain stimming, so pain stimming, it's a particular type of stimming that is like the like skin picking or cuticles, nails stuff, except that you use a tool to do it where you can do it safely, where you will like these are something that has kind of been taking TikTok on mental health TikTok on Storm. It's called little ouchies. You squeeze them really tight and they'll leave little indentations in your palm, and that you don't actually hurt yourself. And it's just if you have that urge to do something you don't want to do, similar to people who like don't want to do something else we're going to talk about. They'll flick a rubber band on their wrist. It's a very similar process, and it's just that intensity, somatic feeling of just letting it go. But because you have to buy something, that's why I would put it as a like a C tier personally.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna put that as a high C tier. Okay, so I know in the beginning of this video we did mention a trigger warning. We are now going to be talking about that now. So if you would like, you can go ahead and skip past these. I will leave a time frame at the bottom, so I'll give you a second to go if you want to. And I'm assuming if you're still here, it's because you'd like to listen in on this. So the first up we have is substance use or substance abuse. Um, and first and foremost, like I've already said before, no one's going to judge you here in this. I am somebody who has like used substance in the past, whether that be the medical herb that somehow causes political strife all over the US, um, or things like alcohol. All these things that are substances that you intake to cope with emotions can count for this. Um,
Yeah.
I think that this is a lower tier. I would say probably D or F, but I
Yeah,
would let
I
you
would
speak on it
say
real quick.
I would say D only because things can be used in moderation, similar to like the
Hmm.
overeating thing. Like if you're mindful, and again, we're saying substance use, not substance abuse, as like the general one, but it can lead to that if you're not careful. But yeah, no, like moderation is important, and if you can moderate, we all have our own tools. Whenever you have a problematic coping skill, like doing it where you uh, doing it is not bad. It's just that you need to add more coping skills that serve you, and that can to just go right into it. The next one is self-harm, and like um lots of people do things like headbanging, hitting themselves, other things that I won't even mention because some people are triggered just from mentioning it.
Hmm.
And like, yeah, you are not a bad person. You are not wrong, bad. It is not shameful to do these coping skills because we learn them in a vacuum. Like, I feel like everyone comes up with this when they're in those traumatic environments themselves. They don't decide to like do this. It's literally just I don't know what else to do except for this thing.
Yep.
And if you learn how to better serve yourself, you don't need them anymore. And that's why we're talking about all these other coping. That's all.
Absolutely. And I've struggled with this in the past, and so like
Yeah.
I'm never not afraid to admit to it. So like I said, there's no judgment here. We're just trying to give you guys other options, but these things need to be mentioned because they are popular coping mechanisms. So, with that, we're gonna put that what F tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that down there. But
Not for shame, just because it can grow out of it. You can do it.
okay, thank you. So down here, none of these options that are in D or F tier are there to shame you. Ria and I have both admitted to struggling with them, and lots of people struggle with these things. We are just bringing them in here and into the conversation because, we're aware that these are coping mechanisms that are not necessarily positive, um, and can be replaced with other positive coping mechanisms, which is why we're doing this video. There's a lot of things going on in our world right now that are wrong, and it is very easy to fall into these bad, I don't want to say bad, but more so unhealthy coping mechanisms that exist out there. And so we are here to give you guys resources and the ability to know that, okay, there are things that I can do that might help me more.
Well, and you slipping and saying bad for a second. That's
Yeah.
our societal conditioning. You know, it's not our fault. Like society makes us feel like it's bad, but it isn't.
Yeah, and that's why I changed it from bad to unhealthy because n- bad is a objective term that is again just that's me dealing with my own self-shame. No, it's nothing to do with you guys, but self shame that I feel myself for struggling with these things in the past. But these next few are all things that have really helped me, and from what Ria said earlier, has really helped Ria. So we're gonna go ahead and move on and get ourselves out of this uh, lower headspace. And the first up we have is progressive muscle relaxation.
So, progressive muscle relaxation. It is a wonderful somatic skill, and we're a big fan of somatics in this list. If you can't tell what it basically is, and again, I teach it in bigger detail in my video that you can go to my channel to see. But it's about clenching parts of your body, starting from your feet to your head, um like in progression. Oh, progressive muscle relaxation. Oh, okay. um and basically by getting that tension and then releasing it, you're telling your body to let go. It's also really good for getting out of freeze. So if you start up here, if you think of activation levels, freeze is actually at the top, um and then fight or flight, and then the like rest, digest, we're safe, etc. So you have to bring yourself out of freeze. That's why animals run after shaking themselves. They'll run. That's why it works like that. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful skill.
Yeah, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that one right onto the S tier. And I will go ahead and talk about this next one. So this next one is meditation. And now, um, meditation is kind of hit or miss for a lot of people because it is another thing that requires consistency. But meditation can be really, really beneficial, especially if you are able to do it consistently. It's a way to teach your body to have a kind of like a new sense of security.
So with meditation, I feel a lot of people struggle with meditation, particularly like ADHD people like me. I didn't really understand it until I was taught differently. When I first like learned about it as a kid, I thought it was like, oh, you sit under the waterfall and like feel all the raindrops like the martial art movies or whatever. But I learned it's more you're trying to bring, for at least for people like me, because there is that version where you kind of open yourself to the universe. But for people like me, bringing your focus down to a point or a couple of different points, like if you're listening to a guided meditation and focusing on your breath and whatnot, I feel that, learning how to re regulate yourself through that focus is what people with ADHD need. And learning how to do it can not only help with ADHD symptoms, but grounding and also mindfulness is like, and there's a misunderstanding of what mindfulness is, with mindfulness being the act of not like being in that focused or being in that open. It's more noticing when you're not doing it and coming back is actually what. Actually, I hit my mic. Hold on. And coming back. Let me say, it's like noticing when your mind is drifting from the focus or the open to the world, and then coming back to it. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful skill. But there is some like ability and skill that you need to build over time.
Yeah, meditation, and just like you were saying about mindfulness, it's more about the act of being aware and less so of more. I feel like when people talk about meditation, they talk about finding a sense of inner peace. But what I find it's more beneficial for is finding a sense of being present in presence and being aware of what's going on. And meditation can be really, really good for that. So, personally, I'm going to throw it up in an A tier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, what I really enjoy and one of my favorite ways of coping is using three of these things that we have up top. So we have progressive muscle relaxation, box or square breathing, depending on how you want to say it, and meditation. So I find that I often can get very emotionally dysregulated. And when I'm in those moments, one thing I will do is I will inhale. And as I'm inhaling, I'm counting to four. And while I'm inhaling, I am squeezing my fists in like my hands into a fist, and I'm rolling either my fists back like away from me or towards me to activate the muscles in my forearm while I'm breathing in, and then I hold it for 4 seconds, and then as I'm breathing out, I slowly release that. And doing that is, yeah, it's a more complicated technique, but it does allow for you to activate three things at once. And so if you have those abilities already, it can be a good thing to find yourself in the moment when you're really starting to find yourself like freezing or going into the fight or flight to bring yourself back down. Also, not sponsored, but if you want to learn how to meditate, one of my favorite apps is called Balance. It is found on both app stores. You can get your first year for free, and they have really, really good walkthroughs on guided meditation, starting from very beginners to intermediate to expert level people. I don't know if I know anyone who's an expert at meditating, but for me, it's what taught me how to meditate and to meditate consistently. And now, like, I don't meditate every day anymore, but I have found that it is something that I can now go back and rely on because I know those skills and was able to learn them over time. So, yeah, again, not sponsored, but if it is something that you would like to go check out, absolutely please do.
I think the only master meditator that I've ever met is my old Shifu that I did Kung Fu. That's literally, and he literally learned it at the Shaolin Temple when he was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. Master meditator? Well, I'm a master painter.
Ayo! Got
Okay.
him!
Got him. Next up, and we're gonna try to go through these last ones because we're getting long on the video. We have the dive response, which is another somatic exercise. One of
Yeah.
my favorite for anxiety by far.
Yeah, and basically cold water on your face, ice pack on your face. Mammals, when we experience that, it's a reset button. It's wonderful. If you want more details, you can look at the video on my channel. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, pools, the ocean, any way you can find cold water,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
great. Uh,
Fantastic.
okay. Next up, social isolation. F tier, F tier.
F tier.
F tier. Also, I'm gonna give you guys a really quick piece of advice because I'm really bad at social isolating, meaning I do this often when I get depressed. So, what I did is I told all of my friends and all of my loved ones that, hey, guys, this is what I do. If I don't reach out to you for a while, know that I'm probably not doing well. And so now my friends come knocking on my door like they're the FBI. Q FBI thing, Neo. I'll let you do that. Yep, cool. Yeah, that's exactly what they come do. And they're like, hey, are you okay? And then they help get me out of the house and get me back into around the people that I enjoy and the people that I love. Because I can't stress enough. Tell the people you love that this is something you struggle with. Anything on this list, if there are things that you struggle with here,
Oh,
communicate that because we
exactly.
have to take care of each other.
And then we have, oh my God, hashtag self care.
Oh my God. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God, batch. But like
Speaking of self care.
showering, other things, like it's good for you. It's resets. You have like lots of transition activities when we bathe. It might even be the healthier version of the sleeping thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great, wonderful B. I'd say B A
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
I'd say it's a
Um,
low A, but
yeah,
it can be a B tier. It just depends on how you're doing your self-care. And
yeah,
I love telling like I love getting all my friends onto self-care. Like if you're going to take a bath, especially for like dude, trans anyone, anybody who's on hormones or just deals with hormone fluctuations, because like I also have an autoimmune disorder that messes with my hormones. So doing self-care and like taking care of washing my face and creating rituals around these things can be really good ways of grounding yourself, because they've become defaults. Like the more you do something that's positive and the more habits that you're able to form with proper coping mechanisms, the easier life can become. And I know life is really difficult right now, and I know that we're all going to continue struggling with this, but we made this video so you guys hopefully have some other options and some things that you can look into to yeah.
exactly. Woo.
Yay. So with
Yeah,
that, I think we did it. We finished the tier list. So now we just got to
yeah.
do our outro.
Oh, outro. Well, hey, like, you don't actually have to stop hanging out with us though, because there's a video on my channel where I interviewed Violet, and we you can just pick up right there. We just go from here to there, and hang out with us a little longer if you like.
Yeah,
Um,
if you guys want to know more about my personal life, that's a great way to go.
oh my God, like see behind the memes.
Behind the memes. I love that.
Yeah,
So yeah, thank you again for everybody who stayed and watched the entire video. I know this is the longest video that is probably ever going to be on my channel. Maybe not. We'll see. I might do longer videos in the future. If you enjoyed this video and you watched all the way to the end, I want you to go down and leave in the comments what are some of your favorite coping mechanisms or what are some things that you do that really help you. Because who knows, maybe
exactly.
it'll help somebody else. With that, thank you again, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.